At Christmas, the other railway sends a Christmas tree to Sodor. Each year, it stands on the platform at Tidmouth Station. The town band plays, and lots of people sang carols around the tree. 2 days before Christmas, all the engines were busy with the final preparations. Thomas was at the big station with Henry and Gordon. The Fat Controller was there too. He had been busy arranging a carol party. "You all have jobs to do," he said. "Henry, you are to help Percy with the cards, letters and parcels. Gordon, you will bring the mayor." The Fat Controller paused impressively. "And Thomas, you will have the most important job. I want you to fetch the Christmas tree. Doc will look after Annie and Cloudbolt till you get back." "Will we be able to sing the carols too?" asked Thomas. "We'll see," promised the Fat Controller. "It would be nice to sing carols again," sighed Thomas and puffed away. That night in the sheds, the other engines were sulking. "Why should Thomas go?" grumbled James. "He can't do anything a splendid red engine like me couldn't do." "Nor me," agreed Gordon. "Anyone would think he was special or something." "Taking the tree sounds rather nice than collecting the post," added Henry. Thomas ignored them and went to sleep instead. Early next morning, Thomas puffed along the line to fetch the Christmas tree. When he arrived at the workstation, it started to snow again. His driver looked concerned. "Perhaps we should have put on Thomas's snowplow for the journey," he said. "I don't like the look of this weather. See if the men have a spare at the works." He came back a few minutes later. "I'm afraid they're all out of snowplows," the fireman said. "Bit of a shortage crisis, apparently. It looks like we'll just have to carry on without one." Thomas agreed, though secretly he was a little worried. Thomas hurried along the line with the Christmas tree behind him. But as he went down Gordon's hill, a large snowdrift lay ahead. "I mustn't be late," he thought. "The Fat Controller's relying on me." Whistling bravely, Thomas tried to move, but he couldn't. There was worse to come, as a huge bank of snow poured all over Thomas. At the yards, the other engines waited for Thomas to come back. They waited and waited. "I wonder what's happened to him," wondered Douglas. "Perhaps he's stuck in a tunnel somewhere," suggested Gordon. Henry let off steam indignantly. "He's much more likely to be turned onto the branch line." "He could have run into a cow," said Donald cheekily. The engines soon started arguing at each other, just as the Fat Controller drove up in his car. "Silence!" he said. "Thomas left the works safely, but snow has brought the telephone lines down. We must assume he is stranded near Edward Station." The engines all felt sorry for Thomas. "We're not going to leave him there, sir, are we?" asked Douglas. "Certainly not," said the Fat Controller. "I will need 2 volunteers to go and find Thomas." All the engines hooted at once. Donald and Douglas were chosen for the job, and cold but confident, the twins set off to the rescue. At the junction, they met Toby, Percy and Duck. "The Fat Controller has cancelled all trains until Thomas is found," said Duck, "so take care." "Please come back safely with Thomas and the Christmas tree," said Percy. "We will," the twins whistled. Donald and Douglas puffed bravely on as they passed Edward Station, but the snow was getting thicker and deeper. Donald wanted a rest, but Douglas wouldn't let him. "What if Thomas is lying hurt somewhere?" he said. "We can't give up hope now." When they reached Gordon's Hill, they came to a drift that was deeper than the rest. "Hush!" said Donald. "I can hear something." "Probably the wind," said Douglas. "No, listen," insisted Donald. "Oh, it's Thomas! Come on, the Awdry engine must be frozen to the frames in there." Before long, James and Edward arrived with more help. Thomas's driver and fireman, who had taken shelter nearby, helped with the workmen. It took some time to dig away the heavy drifts of snow, but at last, Thomas and the precious Christmas tree were free from the snow. "Thank you all," shivered Thomas. Once coupled onto Douglas, they set off once more to finish their long journey. When the engines arrived at the station, everyone gave Thomas such a warm welcome that he began to feel quite cheerful again. Later that night, the Fat Controller spoke to his engines. "As a reward for all your hard work, you may go and enjoy the carols. But remember, this is a special occasion, so I want you all to be on your best behavior," he said. At Tidmouth Station, all was soon ready. 1, 2, 3! Suddenly, like magic, the station was flooded with lights. The Fat Controller made his announcement. "Ladies, gentlemen, and children, I give you 3 cheers for Thomas the Tank Engine and all his friends who have made this occasion possible." Suddenly, there was a strange whirring sound. Percy and Toby smiled. They knew who it was. With landing lights shining brightly, Harold the helicopter touched down gently in the snow. And stepping out of Harold's door was Father Christmas. Everyone cheered and the party began. They all had a marvelous time. Later at the sheds, when the party was over, Thomas whispered to Percy. "It's no fun getting stuck in the snow," he whispered, "but it was worth it for this party. Happy Christmas, Percy. Happy Christmas, everyone."